Hi guys, and welcome to Silver Lake Honey channel, and welcome to episode 2 of our beginner beekeeping series. This episode we're going to talk about the beehive. So in the previous episode, number 1, we discussed 5 different things to consider before even buying the bees, before even becoming a beekeeper. If you didn't watch that episode, I'll put a link so you can watch it. I told you that I'm gonna buy 2 beehives unassembled. We're gonna assemble it, and throughout the season we're gonna put the bees into these beehives and compare how they compare to each other, and do beekeeping every around 10 days. We're gonna check on them. We're gonna find the queen, find the eggs, split them, see if they gonna make some honey, even try some comb honey, and everything that needs to be done step by step throughout the whole year. And I'm gonna show you how to introduce the nuke into the hive, what to look for, how to find eggs, how to find queen, and all different things that need to be done throughout the year. So what are the basic components of beehive? We're going to start from the top. On the top we have our telescoping cover. This cover, it's the roof of our beehive. Most of the time people buy metal outer cover or telescoping cover, and because it protects from the rain, from the snow, from the wind and stuff, we need to put something so it doesn't, when we have heavy winds, so it doesn't fly off our hive. So it's made out of wood, and the top is made usually out of metal. You can also get the plastic one or one made out of styrofoam, but most of the time it's metal. And also, I just want to mention about some people build their own. They just use the board, or you can do migratory cover when you run hives on the pallets. But for beginners, this is most of the time you're gonna get one like this. So under the top cover, we have inner cover. Inner cover is used in a beehive to go under the outer cover, so the bees don't propolize and seal this. You know, if you put just this on top, they would propolize it, and you have really a hard time removing this. So that's one of the reasons to use inner cover. So it'd be a lot easier to pry this with your hive tool and get it off your hive. And also some people use a notch here, so they have extra ventilation on the top, or as bee escape, so they can get out this way. On my beehives, I only use one entrance, and I don't use upper entrances. Okay, so the next component of the beehive is medium box, or honey super. Means on top or above. On Latin word is super is for something that's above. So you see that the bees in the wild, they deposit their honey above their heads, above the cluster. Bees like the honey above and then brood below the honey. That's why we always put the honey on top of the brood. There are 3 types of boxes in a beehive. There's deep or brood box, there's medium or honey super, and there is shallow. We don't have it here, but shallow is used mostly for like comb or cut honey production. Honey super, usually we have like tent frames and either plastic foundation or sheet of wax foundation, or we do foundationless, and it's called checkerboarding. So we have one foundation and one we remove a frame and put it like empty. And then again, another with foundation, another one empty. That way we can get comb honey in this area. As long as bees have these two frames on the side to guide them to draw straight comb, you can make some comb honey. You just cut it and you have you have comb honey. So most of the time people are using medium honey supers because they're a lot lighter than, instead of, if this is full of honey, it's like 90 pounds, then this is only like between 40 and 50. So it's a lot easier to move this than to move, unless you're gonna just move frames. You can run all these and extract or remove the honey only by the frame, or if you want to do it with the boxes, or also you can run all medium. It's a nice way also to keep bees having all the same equipment and everything the same. So use brood boxes and honey supers as mediums. So how many honey supers we have throughout the season depends on your area and depends on nectar flow and how fast the bees will fill it with honey. So throughout the season, with these two hives, we're going to compare which one is doing better, and I'm going to show you how to have bees come up and store the honey into the medium super, honey super. Some people, they like their hives already assembled and painted, and some people buy unassembled and assemble their own, and some people even build their own beehives. It's really nice to have interchangeable equipment and everything that's one size, so you can change it to, if you have multiple hives, instead of having mismatch or different kind of equipment, different kind of sizes. So the next part of the beehive is called queen excluder. This is actually optional, and some beekeepers like to use it, some don't. So it keeps the queen down in the brood box and excludes her from the honey supers. Worker bees can go through and deposit honey on the honey supers, but queen can't go and lay eggs. So it restricts the queen to stay in these brood chambers. Also, if you have first honey super full of honey, queen will not cross the honey and go lay eggs. So if there's honey above their heads, the honey can act as a queen excluder too. So the next is the deep box or brood chamber. This is the place where queen lays eggs and where the brood is. So in the beginning of the season, we're gonna start with one box, and we're gonna introduce our nukes or package. We'll see, we're probably gonna do one hive is gonna be a nuke and another one is gonna be a package, and we're gonna compare the two, how they do. So we're gonna introduce into this first brood box, and then throughout the season we're gonna check and inspect them and see when is the time to add the second box, how to have the bees move faster to the second box, adding the honey super and so on. The last part of our beehive is the floor, or it's called bottom board. I like to run solid bottom boards. I believe we have harsh winters, and I believe having a closed system in a beehive with a microclimate, but some beekeepers like to use screen bottom boards to help with ventilation and also with pest management. There's a tray on the back, and you pull out, you can, after you do like a varroa mite treatments, you can see how many varroa drop down through the screen and count them in that board. But I like to run solid bottom boards. And all bottom boards usually come with the entrance reducer. There's several ways to adjust. You can have really small opening for one or two bees to go through. You can have the medium opening where several bees can go through, or you can remove it so it's open all the way, or you can close it all the way when you're moving the hive. Some people they like to buy their beehives already assembled and painted and everything, but a lot of people buy the kits unassembled. So these two beehives I bought unassembled, and it's really easy to put them together. They have these joints, and you always get the 90 degrees if you use it right. So I like to use a wood glue and put it in these joints. That's it. So you put nails, and you have the box ready. Okay, ready to go. I also like to assemble my own frames. If you have two frames, you can assemble it individually, or I'll show you my jig that I have for 50 frames at a time. So it's a lot faster if you have multiple hives to build yourself a jig. It's really simple, like made out of 1x4 lumber and a couple of pipes, and you just put the frames, put the end of the frame, and then put these top bars and then staple it. If you have only 1 or 2 hives, you can do it by hand. So again, I like to use wood glue and put the top of the frame, and then again use wood glue for the bottom. And put the bottom part. Now, I like to put 2 staplers on top, 2 on the bottom, and 1 on the side. This on the side is really important one, because it prevents, when you open with your high toe, it prevents this from splitting. So 2 staples on the top. Two on the bottom, and 1 on the side. This is really important one, on each side. And now we're gonna install the plastic foundation. It just slides in. There are grooves for the foundation to go in. That's it. And I like to have my foundation come unwaxed, because I use my own wax. I have a wax press and I collect my own wax, and I apply a really thick coat of my own wax. That way I know it comes from my hives, and I'm not gonna buy paraffin mixed in or spread diseases or something. I know it's my own wax, and I like to put my own. Okay guys, that will be all for this episode. So that's the beehive. So we're gonna have 2 beehives. Next episode, I'm gonna show you what are the basic tools that you're gonna need. You're gonna notice a lot of catalogs that are coming, or bee supply companies. They're gonna show you all kinds of different equipment, and a lot of that you don't need at all. You're not gonna use it. So we're gonna go through the basic tools you're gonna need as a new beekeeper.